bedroom door stood half open. Alex should have knocked. Should have announced himself. Should have turned around the second he heard the laughter. That high, breathless kind that makes your stomach twist before your brain catches up. But he didn't. Through the crack, he watched his wife Emma drop to her knees. Not in prayer. Not in pain. In joy. Because the man kneeling before her, Brad, his former colleague, the guy who'd clapped his shoulder at their wedding, was holding up a diamond ring that caught the afternoon light like a tiny, vicious star. Yes! Emma shrieked, loud enough to rattle the frame Alex had nailed to the wall himself. God, yes, Brad. They kissed. Deep, long, the kind of kiss that erases people. Then Brad looked up, locked eyes with Alex through that crack, and smiled. Hey, placeholder, Brad said, not even bothering to stand. Thanks for keeping her warm. Have you ever watched your entire life collapse in 45 seconds? Stick around, because what happens next will make you question everyone you trust. And if you think the story ends with revenge, you're only half right. Hit that like button. Drop a comment telling me the worst betrayal you've witnessed, and subscribe because, trust me, you won't believe where this goes. Now, let me take you back to where it all started falling apart. 3 hours earlier, Alex had left the office with flowers. Roses. 24 of them. One for each year since they'd met at that college mixer where Emma had spilled her drink on his shoes and laughed so hard she snorted. He'd fallen in love with that snort, with the way she grabbed napkins and apologized while still giggling. Mascara running, completely unbothered by the stares. You're gonna love the surprise, he'd muttered to himself in the car, practicing his speech. Practicing romance like it was a presentation, because that's what 12 years of marriage does. Turn spontaneity into scheduled maintenance. He'd even bought champagne. The expensive kind that Emma liked. The bottles with French names he couldn't pronounce. Their anniversary. 5 years married. 7 years engaged before that because he wanted everything perfect. The house, the savings, the stability. Emma said she didn't mind waiting. Said she loved him for being careful. The house was quiet when he arrived. Too quiet for 2 p.m. on a Saturday. Emma's car sat in the driveway next to a black Tesla he didn't recognize but made his chest tighten anyway. He told himself it was a client. She was a realtor. Clients came by. That's normal. The front door was unlocked. Alex stepped inside, and that's when he heard it. Music. Not their music. Something bass-heavy and unfamiliar drifting down from upstairs, from their bedroom, mixing with voices that made his hands go numb. He climbed the stairs like a man walking toward his own execution. Each step creaked. Nobody noticed. The bedroom door, painted navy blue because Emma said it was sophisticated, stood half open. Alex's hand reached for the handle, then froze. Because through that slice of space, he could see movement, could see Emma's bare shoulder, could see a man's hand sliding down her spine. His brain tried to supply innocent explanations. A massage, a prank, a nightmare he'd wake up from if he just blinked hard enough. Then Brad turned, holding that ring box like a trophy. Emma Hartley, Brad said, his voice smooth and practiced, completely ignoring the fact that her last name was Reynolds. Will you marry me? Emma's gasp was theatrical. Beautiful. The same gasp she'd given Alex 7 years ago when he proposed at that restaurant, the one that bankrupted him for 3 months after. Is that Emma's voice cracked with emotion, real emotion, the kind Alex hadn't heard from her in years. Is that the Tiffany ring? 3 carats, Brad confirmed. Only the best for you, baby. Alex's brain snagged on that word. Baby. How long had Brad been calling her baby? How many times had Alex worked late while Brad called his wife baby? Yes, Emma screamed, and Brad slid the ring onto her finger. The left one, right above the modest band Alex had saved 8 months to afford. They kissed. Alex watched them kiss in his bedroom, on his bed, wearing his anniversary in their mouths like a joke he wasn't on. That's when the door creaked. Brad's eyes flicked toward the sound. Found Alex standing there, flowers in one hand, champagne in the other, looking like the world's saddest party decoration. Oh shit, Brad said, but he was smiling. Actually smiling. Didn't hear you come in, buddy. Emma turned. Her face cycled through expressions too fast to catalog. Shock, annoyance, calculation, before landing on something that looked almost like pity. Alex. She didn't even sound sorry. Just inconvenienced. You're home early. It's our anniversary, Alex said. His voice came out wrong. Small, like a child's. Brad laughed. Actually laughed. Oh, man, that's awkward. Awkward. Alex's hands were shaking now. Champagne bottle rattling against his palm. That's what you're going with? Awkward. Emma stood up, wrapping the sheet around herself with one hand, admiring the ring with the other. The morning light caught the diamond, sent rainbow shards across the walls Alex had painted himself. Look, she said, voice patient like she was explaining something to someone slow. This has been over for a while. You had to know that. Over? Alex couldn't process the word. We're married. Legally, sure. Emma shrugged. But come on, Alex. When's the last time we actually connected? You work all the time. You're boring. You still drive that same car from college. You wear the same 3 shirts. You're a placeholder. That word again. Brad stood up, not bothering with the sheet. Walked right past Alex to grab his pants from the floor. No hard feelings, man, he said, buttoning his jeans. You're a good architect. Really? Those designs you showed me last month? The waterfront development? Chef's kiss. Something cold slithered down Alex's spine. What designs? Emma's eyes flashed. Just for a second. Brad, don't. Oh, she didn't tell you? Brad's grin widened. Your wife's been feeding me your work for 6 months. That Patterson Plaza, everyone's talking about, the one my firm just won, that was all you, buddy. Well, your ideas, my execution, our profit. The flowers slipped from Alex's hand, hit the floor with a sad, wet sound. You stole my work? Borrowed, Emma corrected. She had the audacity to look annoyed. God, you're so dramatic. They were just sketches. And besides, we needed the money. Me and Brad. She said it so casually, like it was obvious. We're building a life together. Alex, a real life, not this. She gestured around the bedroom with disgust. This mediocre little existence you've trapped me in. Alex tried to speak. Couldn't. His throat had closed up, crushed under the weight of words he couldn't process. Brad walked to the door, paused beside Alex, clapped him on the shoulder. The same shoulder he'd clapped at the wedding. You should probably clear your stuff out soon. Emma's gonna need the space. We're thinking of converting your office into a nursery. Nursery. The word detonated in Alex's chest. He looked at Emma, at her flat stomach, at the satisfied smile on her face. You're pregnant. Not yet, Brad said. But we're trying, aren't we, baby? Emma nodded, twisting the ring on her finger. I want kids with someone who can actually provide for them. Alex stumbled backward, found the doorframe. Held on. Get out. Emma's voice was ice now. Seriously, Alex, you're killing the vibe. This is my house. Brad pulled out his phone, started typing. Actually, funny story. Emma's name is on the deed too, and I've got a lawyer who's really good with these situations. So unless you want this to get messy, he left the threat hanging. Alex looked at Emma, his wife, the woman who'd snorted champagne at their rehearsal dinner, who'd cried when they'd miscarried 3 years ago, who'd promised him forever in front of 200 people. He said quietly. Please. She met his eyes, and in them, Alex saw absolutely nothing. No guilt, no regret, not even anger, just boredom. I need you to go, she said. We're celebrating. So Alex went down the stairs, past the photos on the wall. Their wedding, their honeymoon, last Christmas with her parents who'd never liked him anyway, out the front door, into the yard where the neighbors pretended not to stare. Behind him, music started up again, louder this time. Alex sat in his car for 20 minutes, staring at those roses on the passenger seat, trying to remember how to breathe. His phone buzzed. A notification. Instagram. Emma had posted a photo. Her hand, Brad's hand. That massive ring catching the light. The caption. Started my day as a girlfriend, ending it as a FINC. So grateful for second chances and real love. Hashtag blessed hashtag upgrade complete. 300 likes already. Someone had tagged him in the comments. At Tori Mableton. Isn't she married to at Alex Reynolds Designs? Emma's reply was, he's more of an ex-roommate now, lol. Moving on and moving up. Alex's hands gripped the steering wheel, so hard his knuckles cracked. His phone buzzed again. A text from Tom, his best friend since high school. Tom, dude, just saw M's post. What the hell is going on? Alex stared at the message, tried to type a response. Couldn't find words that made sense. How do you explain watching your life end in real time? Another text. Tom, come to my place. Now, don't do anything stupid. Alex started the car, but before he pulled out, he looked back at the house one more time. Through the upstairs window, he could see shadows moving, dancing, celebrating. They'd already forgotten he existed. And somewhere in Alex's chest, underneath the shock and humiliation and grief, something else began to grow. Something cold, something patient, something that understood with perfect clarity that nice guys don't finish last. They finish buried. Tom's apartment smelled like old pizza and desperation. Alex collapsed on the couch, scratchy, stained, probably old in their friendship, and told Tom everything, every detail, every word, every smile Brad had worn while destroying his life. Tom listened, offered beer, paced the narrow living room, nearly knocking over a tower of empty takeout containers. That's insane, Tom said finally. That's actually insane. You need to lawyer up. Like yesterday. She can't just... She already did. Alex was staring at his phone, scrolling through Emma's social media. The engagement post had 400 likes now. People congratulating her. People who'd been at their wedding. Tom sat down, chair groaning under his weight. Okay, let me think. He pulled out his own phone. My cousin knows a lawyer, divorce specialist. I'll text him right now. Don't bother. Alex, you can't just... I need to think. Alex's voice was flat, empty. I need a minute to process. Tom nodded slowly. Yeah, okay. You can crash here as long as you need. We'll figure this out. But Tom's eyes were already sliding away. Toward his phone, toward the window, anywhere but Alex's face. Alex should have caught it. That tiny tell, that microscopic shift in body language. He didn't. Instead, he went to the bathroom and splashed cold water on his face, staring at his reflection. 34 years old. Decent job. Good credit. No criminal record. How had he become so erasable? When he came back out, Tom was texting frantically. Work? Alex asked. Tom jolted. Yeah. Boss is freaking out about the Henderson account. On a Saturday? You know how it is. Tom's smile was wrong. Too wide. Hey, you should eat something. There's leftover Chinese in the fridge. Or we could order. Someone knocked on the door. 3 sharp raps. Tom's face went white. Expecting someone? Alex asked. No. Tom stood up too fast. Must be a delivery. I'll get it. But he didn't move toward the door. He moved toward the window, peeking through the blinds. Tom. Alex, listen. Tom turned. Hands up like he was calming a wild animal. I didn't know they'd come this fast. She said if I didn't tell her where you were, she'd talk to my boss and I can't lose this job. Man, I can't. The knock came again. Louder. Police. Open up. Alex's blood turned to ice. What did you do? I'm sorry. Tom's voice cracked. I'm so sorry. She said it was just a talk. She said. Alex yanked the door open. 2 officers stood in the hallway. Behind them, Emma, wearing the perfect mask of a frightened woman. Mascara running. Lip trembling. Academy Award worthy. That's him, she whispered, pointing at Alex. Please, I just want to feel safe. The older officer, badge reading Torres, stepped forward. Alex Reynolds? Yes. We have a restraining order. You're to vacate these premises immediately and maintain a distance of at least 500 feet from Emma Reynolds. Emma Hartley, Emma interrupted. I'm taking back my maiden name. For safety. From Ms. Hartley and her residence. Alex stared. What? She's the one who... Sir, Torres's hand moved to his belt. Not his gun. Not yet. But the threat was clear. We can do this easy or hard. She was in my bed with another man. This is my house. Emma flinched. Actually flinched like Alex had raised a hand to her. See? Her voice wobbled. He's getting violent. I told you. I'm not violent. Alex's voice came out too loud. Wrong. The officers' hands twitched toward their weapons. Tom grabbed Alex's shoulder. Dude, just go. Please. You called her? Alex turned on his friend. I told you. Her realtor firm handles accounts for my boss. Tom couldn't meet his eyes. She could ruin me, Alex. One phone call. You don't understand the position you put me in. I put you in? Sir, Torres stepped between them. You need to leave. Now. Can I at least get my things? From the house. Emma's lawyer appeared then. Tall, silver-haired, smiled like a shark. Your belongings will be placed curbside by 6 p.m. You can collect them then. Curbside? Be grateful we're not pursuing charges for unlawful entry. The lawyer said smoothly. Ms. Hartley is being quite generous, considering your erratic behavior. Alex looked at Emma, really looked at her, searching for the woman he'd loved, the woman who'd snorted champagne and promised forever. She was gone, if she'd ever existed at all. Eminesia. His voice broke. Why are you doing this? She met his eyes and smiled. Small, private, meant only for him. Because I can, she whispered. The officers escorted Alex out, down the stairs, past neighbors filming on their phones, into the parking lot where his car sat, still full of anniversary flowers dying in the heat. He drove to his house, and found his entire life in garbage bags on the lawn. Clothes, books, his drafting table cracked, photo albums, his father's watch, his mother's ring, the one he planned to pass down to his kids someday. All of it dumped like trash. A group of teenagers from across the street were taking photos, laughing. Yo, that's the guy from the Post, one of them shouted. The placeholder. The word was already spreading, becoming a meme, a joke, a cautionary tale about men who aren't enough. Alex loaded his car in silence. Trip after trip. Nobody helped. Nobody even looked sorry. When he finally drove away, he could see Emma in the window, Brad's arms around her waist, both of them watching, both of them smiling. Alex's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered without thinking. Alex Reynolds? The voice was smooth. Familiar. Brad. How did you? Wanted to offer you something. Brad sounded almost cheerful. A job. My firm. You're a talented guy. Wasted potential. And all that. We could use someone like you. Alex's hands tightened on the wheel. You wanted to work for you? Well, with me is a strong word. More like under me. Literally. I'm expanding the janitorial team. Pays $12 an hour. Thought you might need it, given your situation. Silence. Then Brad laughed. I'm messing with you, man. But seriously, I'll email you the offer on Monday. Think about it. Times are tough. Pride doesn't pay rent. He hung up. Alex pulled over, put his head on the steering wheel, and for the first time in 12 years, he cried. Not pretty crying. Not movie crying. The ugly, choking kind that makes your whole body shake. When he finally looked up, his phone showed 3 new Instagram notifications. All comments on Emma's post. All tagging him. All laughing. What would you do in Alex's position? Could you stay silent? Could you walk away? Monday morning, Alex stood in the lobby of Vanguard Tech, Brad's company, the building he'd helped design, the one where his waterfront concepts now hung in the conference rooms, credited to Vanguard creative team. His hands shook as he approached the receptionist. Alex Reynolds. I have an appointment. She barely looked up. Maintenance entrance is around back. I'm here for maintenance. Around back. Her tone made it clear the conversation was over. So Alex walked around back, through the service entrance, past dumpsters and delivery trucks, down a concrete corridor that smelled like industrial cleaner and shame. A man in a stained polo shirt met him. Name tag, Rick facilities manager. You the new guy? I'm an architect, Alex said. There's been some mistake. Rick shoved a uniform into his arms. Gray, scratchy, size too small. You're the new janitor. Brad said you try this. Said you had trouble with authority. I don't have trouble with. Locker room through there. Shift starts at 6 a.m. Ends when the building's clean. Any problems? Don't bother me. Bother unemployment. Alex stared at the uniform. At the name patch, Alex, new guy. This is insane. This is $12.50 an hour. Rick was already walking away. Take it or leave it. Got 3 other guys lined up. Alex took it. What choice did he have? His accounts were frozen. Emma had drained them. Legally, her lawyer claimed, because of joint asset protection during separation. His credit cards were maxed. He was living in his car, parked behind a 24-hour diner, showering at the gym. Pride doesn't pay rent. Brad had known exactly what he was doing. That first day, Alex cleaned toilets in the building he designed, emptied trash cans, mopped floors, and everywhere he looked, he saw his own ideas staring back at him. The glass atrium, his sketch, the rooftop garden, his concept, the award-winning lobby, his dream, executed perfectly, credited to someone else. Around noon, he saw her, Lena Vasquez, his former protege, the junior architect he'd mentored for 2 years, teaching her everything he knew, the woman he'd recommended for promotion just last month. She was walking with Brad, laughing at something he'd said, carrying a portfolio Alex recognized. His portfolio. Lena, he called out before thinking. She turned, saw him in the janitor uniform. Her face flickered. Recognition, pity, fear, then hardened into something careful and blank. Can I help you? Like she didn't know him. It's me, Alex. Brad appeared beside her, arms sliding around her shoulders. Possessive. Problem here, buddy? No, Lena, those designs you're holding are mine, Lena said quickly. Too quickly. I've been developing the Riverside project for months. That's my Riverside project. I showed it to you in March. You said it needed work. So you abandoned it, Lena interrupted. And I picked it up. That's how this business works. Alex, maybe if you'd stayed focused instead of letting your personal life fall apart. She let the sentence hang. Brad grinned. Harsh, Lena. I like it. He looked at Alex. Bathroom on 3 needs attention. Someone made a mess. They walked away. Lena didn't look back. Alex stood there, mop in hand, watching his student steal his future. That night, his sister called. Mia, 2 years younger. Always struggling. Always needing something. Hey, Alex. Her voice was tight, strained. I heard about Emma. That's awful. I'm so sorry. Relief flooded through him. Thanks, Mia. I really needed to hear. So listen, I'm in a bind. Real bad. You know that investment opportunity one told you about. Alex's relief curdled. Mia, it fell through, and now I owe some people money. A lot of money. And I remembered Mom's china set. The one she left you? If you could just... You wanted to sell Mom's china? I'm desperate, Alex. They're threatening legal action. You're always so responsible. So stable. You can bounce back. I can't. I'm living in my car, Mia. Silence. Then, oh, more silence. But, you'll figure it out. You always do. You're the smart one, the successful one. I'm just asking for one thing. One family heirloom. Is that really too much? Alex closed his eyes. How much do you need? 8,000. 8,000? I know it's a lot, but you were always Mom's favorite. She want you to help me. She want family to stick together. Something cracked in Alex's chest. Where were you when Emma threw me out? When I needed a place to crash? When I called you 3 times? I've been busy. Busy. The word tasted like poison. Right. God, you're so selfish. Mia's voice pitched higher. Angry now. I'm literally about to lose everything. And you're holding a grudge about a few missed calls? This is why Emma left you. Alex, you're so wrapped up in yourself. He hung up, sat there in his car, parked behind the dumpsters, staring at his phone. A text arrived. Mia, fine. Don't help me. See if I care. Just remember this when you need something. Then another text. Emma, divorce papers being served tomorrow. I'm being generous with the settlement. Don't fight it. Attachment. A PDF. Alex opened it. The generous settlement left him with nothing. The house, Emma. The savings, Emma. The car, Emma's name was on the title. The pension, divided, but most going to her for emotional damages. She was taking everything, and it was legal. Her lawyer had crafted the documents carefully, used Alex's frozen bank accounts against him, used his erratic behavior, try and confront her as evidence of instability, used his current job as proof he couldn't maintain their lifestyle. 48 hours to sign, or she'd expose his secrets. What secrets? He didn't have secrets, but Brad did, Emma did, and they'd built a narrative Alex didn't even recognize. A story where he was a villain, the unstable ex, the failure, the placeholder who couldn't hold on to his wife. Alex looked at the divorce papers, at the sum he'd walk away with, $2,400, 12 years of marriage, $200 per year. His phone buzzed again, a number he didn't recognize. He almost didn't answer. Hello, Alex Reynolds? The voice was rough, unfamiliar. Who is this? Someone who knows what Brad did. A pause. Check your email. The folder labeled Emma's files. Look at the date. What are you? The line went dead. Alex pulled up his email. Found a message from an encrypted address. Opened it. Inside, a folder full of text messages. Between Emma and Brad. Dated back 3 years. 3 years. Alex scrolled through them, hands shaking. Emma. He's at his mom's funeral. Can you believe he's crying? So weak. Brad. Want to come over? Emma. Give me an hour. I'll tell him I'm giving him space. Brad, you're evil. I love it. Alex's vision blurred. His mother's funeral. The day he'd buried the woman who'd raised him alone after his father left. The day he'd sob into Emma's shoulder while she rubbed his back and whispered that everything would be okay. The day she'd send him to the reception alone because she needed to decompress. The day Brad had comforted her in Alex's house, in Alex's bed, while Alex grieved. He scrolled further. Emma got access to the portfolio today. Took photos of everything. Brad, you're a genius. These designs are gold. Emma, what's mine is mine, right? Brad, technically his, but who's counting? Emma, he'll never know. Too trusting. Too stupid. Further. Emma, should I feel bad? Brad, about? Emma, using him. The whole marriage thing. Brad, why? You're getting what you need. Emma, his inheritance is tied up until we hit 5 years married. That's next month. Brad, so wait 1 more month. Then we're free. Emma, can't wait. Gonna have so much fun spending his dead mommy's money. Alex stopped reading, put the phone down, stared at his hands. They weren't shaking anymore. They were perfectly still. And somewhere in the back of his mind, a voice whispered. They calculated this. From the beginning, the engagement, the long wait, the marriage, the timing, all of it. He'd been a mark, a resource, a placeholder for a woman who'd never loved him at all. His phone buzzed. Another text from Emma. 48 hours, Alex. Sign the papers. Move on. Don't make this ugly. Alex looked at the message, looked at the divorce papers, looked at the text proving 3 years of calculated betrayal, and started laughing. Not happy laughing. The kind that makes people cross the street. Alex didn't sleep that night. Couldn't. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Emma's text. Saw her laughing about his mother's funeral. Saw Brad smirk. Saw Lena walking away with his designs. Saw Tom's guilt-stained face as he sold him out for job security. Everyone, every single person he'd trusted had used him like a stepping stone. By 4 a.m., Alex was standing outside Vanguard Tech in his janitor uniform, staring up at the building. His building. The irony tasted like copper in his mouth. He swiped his employee badge, the cheapest plastic, unlike the glass-embedded executive cards, and rode the service elevator to the 7th floor. executive level, where Brad's corner office overlooked the waterfront. The waterfront Alex had designed. Nobody questioned him. Janitors were invisible. That was the beauty of it. Brad's office was unlocked. Arrogant. Why would Brad lock anything? Who would dare touch his things? Alex stood in the doorway, looking at the awards on the walls, the plaques, the frame magazine covers, Architectural Digest. Brad Cordell, visionary of modern design. Using Alex's visions. A laptop sat open on the desk, password protected, but Brad was predictable. Alex had worked with him for 3 years before Emma, knew his patterns. He tried Emma 2024. Wrong. Upgrade 2024. Wrong. Placeholder 1. The screen unlocked. Alex almost laughed. Brad had made his humiliation into a password. He started digging. Files. Emails. Financial records. What he found made his blood sing. Brad wasn't just stealing designs. He was cooking books. Shell companies. Fake vendor invoices. Money laundering through construction projects. Hundreds of thousands funneling through offshore accounts. And Emma was listed as a co-owner on 3 of the shell companies. They weren't just betraying him. They were committing federal crimes. Together, Alex pulled out his phone, started photographing everything, screen after screen, document after document. A sound made him freeze. Footsteps. He ducked behind a desk just as the office door opened. Told you, the Patterson deal is airtight. Brad's voice. Phone pressed his ear. Walking toward the desk, Alex held his breath. One hand on the laptop, ready to close it. No, the inspections paid off. They'll rubber stamp anything. Brad sat down. His legs were inches from where Alex crouched. Yeah, I know the materials are substandard. Who cares? Building won't collapse for 15 years. By then, we're long gone. Alex's heart hammered. The Patterson Plaza. Residential building. 300 units. Families. Brad was cutting corners. Using cheap materials. Bribing inspectors. People could die. Look, I gotta go. Emma's waiting. Brad hung up. Started typing on the laptop. Alex didn't dare breathe. After what felt like hours, but was probably 90 seconds, Brad stood. Walked to the door. Paused. Thought I smelled something. Brad sniffed. Cheap cologne and failure. Housekeeping needs to do better. He left. Alex waited 5 full minutes before moving. His legs screamed. His lungs burned. But he had everything. Photos. Evidence. Proof. He sent it all to his personal email. Then to a cloud drive. Then to a burner account he created on the spot. This was it. The leverage. The ammunition. His phone buzzed. Unknown number again. Unknown. Good. Now you know. Question is, what are you going to do about it? Alex, who is this? Unknown. Someone who wants to watch Brad burn. But you're weak. You'll probably just turn it over to the cops like a good little placeholder. Alex, I'm not weak. Unknown. Prove it. You got the evidence. Use it. Or watch Emma spend your mother's inheritance on her honeymoon. Alex, how do you know about? But the number was already disconnected. Alex stared at his phone. At the photos. At the evidence that could destroy Brad's entire empire. At work. Lena found him that afternoon. Alex. She cornered him by the supply closet. Looked around nervously. We need to talk. No, we don't. Please. Her voice cracked. I know you're mad. I know I stole my work, pretended not to know me, helped Brad humiliate me. Lena flinched. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. You don't understand the pressure. Her whisper was urgent, desperate. Brad said if I didn't take credit, he'd fire me. He'd blacklist me. I have student loans. Alex. My mom's medical bills. I couldn't. So you destroyed me instead. I didn't know it would go this far. I thought it was just one project. Then it became 2. Then he wanted more. And by then I was in too deep. Alex studied her face, searching for the student he'd mentored, the woman who'd stayed late to learn from him, who'd brought him coffee and called him the best teacher she'd ever had. Help me, he said quietly. Hope flashed in her eyes. How? You have access to Brad's files, his emails, Get me more evidence. About the Patterson Plaza. About the shell companies. Lena's face went pale. That's Alex. That's corporate espionage. I could go to jail. You already helped him steal. What's the difference? The difference is Brad protects his people. If I turn on him, he'll do to you what he did to me. Alex leaned closer. You think you're special, Lena? You think you're different? You're useful. For now. But the second you stop being useful, he let the sentence hang. Lena's hands were shaking. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. Then we're done. He started to walk away. Wait. Lena grabbed his arm. I can't get you more evidence. But there's a file. In Brad's office. Red folder. Bottom drawer. He keeps it locked. But I saw him put it there once. It's labeled insurance. Insurance against what? I don't know. But he guards it like his life depends on it. Alex nodded slowly. Thank you. I'm still sorry, Lena whispered. For what it's worth. It's not worth anything. He left her standing there. That night, Alex returned to Brad's office, picked the desk lock with tools he'd bought from a pawn shop, found the red folder. Inside, documents that made his earlier discoveries look tame. Blackmail material on city council members, photos of affairs, financial records proving bribery, a ledger of every illegal deal Brad had ever made, and at the bottom, a notarized document, a prenuptial agreement between Brad and Emma, dated 6 months ago. Clause 17. In the event of dissolution, all assets acquired through marriage to previous spouses shall be divided equally. They'd planned this. Legally. Carefully. Marry Alex. Wait for the inheritance. Divorce him. Split it with Brad through the prenup. Emma hadn't left Alex for Brad. She'd always been with Brad. The marriage to Alex was just a job. Something inside Alex's chest, something that had been bending and cracking for days, finally snapped clean through. He photographed the entire folder, put it back exactly as he'd found it, and made a decision that would change everything. Victor Hastings had an office that smelled like leather and old money. Mr. Reynolds. Vic extended a hand. Perfect manicure. Rolex that cost more than Alex's car. I've reviewed your case, and I have to say you've been royally screwed. Alex sat down. Can you help? Can I help? Vic laughed. Rich. Full. The laugh of a man who always won. Son, I'm going to destroy them. By the time I'm done, Emma will be lucky to keep her toothbrush. He spread documents across his desk. Photos. Timelines. Financial records. See, here's what they didn't count on. Emma's realtor license requires full financial disclosure. These shell companies? Undisclosed income. That's a felony. We report her to the state board. She loses her license. No license, no income. No income. She can't maintain the lifestyle she's claiming as standard in the divorce. Alex leaned forward. What about Brad? Brad's even better. Vic grinned like a shark. Tax evasion. Fraud. And here's the beautiful part. Once we expose Emma's connection to his shell companies, she becomes an accomplice. They'll turn on each other trying to cut deals. How long? 3 months. Maybe 4. I've got a prosecutor. Who owes me? We build the case. Present it to the DA. Criminal charges filed. Emma and Brad go down together. For the first time in weeks, Alex felt something like hope. What do I do? Nothing. Vic stood. You keep your head down. Keep working. Don't contact Emma. Don't threaten Brad. Let me handle everything. By Christmas, you'll have your life back. They shook hands. Alex left the office feeling lighter. Cleaner. Maybe nice guys didn't finish last after all. Maybe justice actually existed. He bought a burner phone. Made an anonymous tip to the SEC about Brad shell companies. Watched the news 3 days later when federal investigators raided Vanguard Tech. Brad's face on CNN. Confused. Angry. Being let out in handcuffs. Emma's face on Instagram. Deleting posts. Making her account private. It was working. Alex met Vic at a bar to celebrate. To justice. Vic raised his glass. To justice. Alex echoed. They drank. You know, Vic said casually, this is going to get messy. Emma's lawyer is good. They'll fight hard. I know. They might come after you. Claim you planted evidence. Harassment. Stalking. Let them try. Vic smiled. I like you, Alex. You got spine. Most guys in your position would have rolled over. I'm done rolling over. Good. Good. Vic ordered another drink. Oh, one thing. The retainer. I'll need another 10,000 by Friday. For expert witnesses. Alex's stomach dropped. 10,000? You said. Initial retainer covered the filing. This is for the fight. Forensic accountants. Private investigators. These things cost money, Alex. I don't have 10,000. I barely have 1,000. Vic's expression shifted. Sympathy. Practice. Then we got a problem. Can't we work out a payment plan? This isn't a car loan, son. This is your life. You want to beat them? You need to invest. I've given you everything I have. Then get more. Vic stood. Sell something. Borrow from family. I don't care. But without those expert witnesses, Emma's team will rip us apart. Alex watched him leave, sat alone at the bar, pulled out his phone to call Mia. Maybe she could. No, she'd already made her choice. He called his credit card company instead. Maxed out his last card. $8,000 limit. Still short. The bartender was watching the news. CNN. Brad's arrest. But something was wrong with the footage. Brad was smiling. Why was Brad smiling? Alex's phone rang. Vic, turn on channel 7. Vic said. Now. Alex pulled up the live stream on his phone. Breaking news. Brad Cordell released. Charges dropped due to procedural errors in the warrant. What? They had him? Alex said into the phone. I saw the documents. They had everything. Yeah. Vic's voice was different now. Colder. About that. Silence. Vic, you're a smart guy, Alex. Or I thought you were. Did you really think I wouldn't check who was paying me more? Alex's blood froze. What? Brad's retainer was 50 grand. Yours was 5. Math isn't hard. You're working for Brad? Was. Past tense. My job was to keep you busy. Keep you hopeful. Keep you from doing anything stupid while they cleaned up loose ends. And it worked perfectly. You son of a... The SEC raid? I tipped Brad off 3 days before. Gave him time to move everything. The procedural errors in the warrant? I wrote them in myself. That prosecutor I mentioned? Brad's godfather. Alex couldn't breathe. Every document you gave me, I gave to Brad. Every plan you made, I reported. You never had a chance, Alex. You were the placeholder again. Why are you telling me this? Professional courtesy. Vic actually laughed. And because there's nothing you can do about it. Attorney-client privilege. You can't prove any of this. And even if you could, who would believe the bitter ex-husband over me? You'll what? Sue me? With what money? Report me? To who? Face it, kid. You lost. Some people are born winners. Some people are born placeholders. That's just life. The line went dead. Alex sat there, phone in hand, watching Brad on TV, waving to cameras. Victorious. Emma appeared beside him, kissed his cheek for the cameras. They looked happy. They looked untouchable. A text arrived. Emma, tried to warn you. Should have signed the papers. Now it gets ugly. Attachment, court documents. Emma was suing him for harassment, for stalking, for emotional distress, claiming he'd been sending threatening messages, had broken into her home, had vandalized her car. All lies, but she had proof. Screenshots, photos, witness statements, all fabricated, all perfectly legal. Alex looked at his reflection in the bar mirror, at the man who believed in justice, in fairness, in doing the right thing. That man looked back at him with empty eyes, and something shifted, something fundamental, something that understood with perfect clarity, that you can't fight monsters by following rules they've already broken. The bartender was still watching the news. Alex finished his drink, stood up, walked out into the rain, and somewhere in the dark began to plan. Still think this is about justice? Still think Alex plays fair? You're wrong. What comes next will shock you. What comes next will make you question your own morality. Drop a comment. How far would you go? What line wouldn't you cross? Because Alex is about to cross all of them. The invitation arrived on thick cardstock, embossed, gold-leafed, expensive. You're invited to celebrate the engagement of Emma Hartley and Brad Cordell. Saturday, 7 p.m., the Skyline Ballroom. Black tie optional. At the bottom, handwritten in Emma's perfect script. Hope you can make it, Alex. Would mean so much. A blade wrapped in honey. Alex stared at it for 3 days, then bought a ticket. The Skyline Ballroom occupied the top floor of the Meridian Tower, floor-to-ceiling windows, city lights spreading like jewels. The kind of place Alex had designed spaces for, but never thought he'd attend as a guest. He arrived at 8 p.m., late enough to avoid the receiving line, early enough to blend into the crowd. His suit was old, off the rack from 5 years ago. The tie was borrowed from the thrift store, but he cleaned up okay, enough to pass. Security didn't even glance at his invitation. Inside, 200 people mingled beneath crystal chandeliers. Champagne, caviar, a string quartet playing something classical and expensive. Alex spotted Emma immediately. She wore white, not a wedding dress, but close. Silk that probably cost more than his car. Hair perfect, makeup perfect, smile perfect. Brad stood beside her in a tuxedo, holding court with investors, laughing, charming, untouchable. Nobody noticed Alex. He was invisible again. He moved through the crowd, listening. Heard the SEC thing was just a misunderstanding. Brad's company is about to go public. Ground floor opportunity. Emma is selling properties in the Riverside development. I'm buying 3 units. The Riverside development, Alex's design, being sold as Brad's vision, making Emma rich on commission. He kept moving, found the bar, ordered water. Alex. He turned. Lena stood behind him. Black dress, uncomfortable heels, eyes that wouldn't quite meet his. Didn't expect to see you here, she said. Could say the same. Brad made attendance mandatory for senior staff. She looked miserable. I didn't want to come. But you did. Yes. She ordered wine, drank half of it immediately. I'm a coward. We've established that. Alex studied her. The file you told me about. The insurance file. What about it? Was it real? Lena hesitated, then nodded. Why? Just curious. She looked at him then. Really looked. Alex, whatever you're planning. I'm not planning anything. You're a terrible liar. Her voice dropped. Brad's dangerous. He's not just greedy. He's cruel. I've seen what he does to people who cross him. Like me? Worse than you. She glanced around nervously. There was a contractor last year, threatened to expose the cheap materials. Brad didn't just fire him. He destroyed him. Criminal charges. False accusations. The guy tried to kill himself. Alex's jaw tightened. Did he succeed? No, but he's in a facility now. Brain damage. His family thinks he's crazy. And you stayed quiet. I had to. Lena's eyes were wet. Don't you get it? That's what Brad does. He makes you complicit, makes you dirty, then holds it over your head forever. Sounds familiar. Alex, thank you for the warning. He walked away, found a maintenance hallway, slipped inside. He'd memorized the building layout weeks ago, knew the security camera blind spots, knew the server room location. Getting there took 12 minutes. Inside, rows of blinking lights. Climate control, keeping everything cool. Alex pulled out the device he'd built. Simple, elegant, a Raspberry Pi loaded with software he'd taught himself from YouTube videos during his sleepless nights. He plugged it into the network. 5 minutes to upload the program. 3 minutes to test. 1 minute to hide the device behind a cable rack where nobody would look. 9 minutes total. By the time he returned to the party, Brad was giving a speech. And I couldn't have done any of this without my beautiful fiancée, Emma. She's been my rock, my inspiration, my everything. Emma beamed, kissed him for the cameras. Alex watched from the back, watched Brad's phone buzz. Watched him check it. Watched his face change. Something was wrong. Brad whispered to Emma. She checked her phone. Went pale. The screens around the room, huge displays showing their engagement photos, flickered. Then changed. Text messages. Between Emma and Brad. From 3 years ago. Emma. He's at his mom's funeral. Can you believe he's crying? So weak. Brad. Want to come over? The room went silent. More messages appeared, scrolling automatically. Emma. What's mine is mine, right? Brad. Technically his, but who's counting? Emma. Gonna have so much fun spending his dead mommy's money. Gasps. Murmurs. Phones coming out to record. Brad lunged for control panel. Nothing happened. The messages kept coming. Financial documents now. The shell companies. The bribery. The Patterson Plaza corner cutting. Emma was crying. Real tears. Mascara running. Security rushed to shut down the screens. But it was too late. Everyone had seen. Everyone had recorded. Brad found Alex in the crowd. Their eyes locked. Brad's face twisted with rage. You. Alex didn't smile. Didn't gloat. Just turned and walked toward the exit. Behind him, chaos erupted. Emma screaming. Brad shouting. Investors demanding answers. Alex took the stairs down. Slow. Careful. 50 floors. By the time he reached the ground, his phone was buzzing with news alerts. Engagement party exposed. Tech CEO's secret scandal. Leaked messages show calculated betrayal. Federal investigators reopened Vanguard case. Alex stood on the street. Rain starting to fall, watching the Meridian Tower lights. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Impressive. The voice was distorted. Mechanical. But you just made yourself a target. Who is this? Someone who's been watching. Someone who knows what Brad does to threats. Let him come. Brave. Stupid, but brave. A pause. Check your email. I sent you something. Insurance of your own. Why are you helping me? Because watching placeholders fight back is the only entertainment I have. The line went dead. Alex checked his email. A file. Video footage. From inside Vic's office. Showing Vic on the phone with Brad. Discussing the setup. Admitting everything. Attorney-client privilege didn't cover criminal conspiracy. Alex had leverage now. Real leverage. His phone buzzed. Emma, you just destroyed your life. Hope it was worth it. Then Brad. See you soon, placeholder. Real soon. Alex looked up at the Meridian Tower. At the chaos he created. At the empire starting to crack. And for the first time in months, smiled. Not a happy smile. The kind that makes people nervous. You thought that was a win? You thought Alex got his revenge? You're not even close. Brad doesn't lose quietly. Emma doesn't go down without a fight. And what happens next will make everything you just saw look like a warm-up. The video went viral in 48 hours. Not just viral. Nuclear. Hashtag placeholder revenge trended on Twitter. TikTok exploded with reaction videos. News outlets picked it up. Morning shows debated it. Emma's face, frozen in that moment of horror, when the messages appeared, became a meme. When you realize your scheme just got exposed. That moment when your side piece becomes your main problem. POV. You're about to lose everything. The SEC reopened their investigation. Brad's company stock dropped 40% overnight. 3 major investors pulled funding. Emma's real estate license was suspended pending review. And Alex waited in his car, behind the diner, watching his phone blow up with messages from people who hadn't spoken to him in months. Tom, holy shit, dude. Did you do that? Mia, Alex called me. We need to talk about family. Random number. This is Lena. Please tell me you have a plan. He ignored them all. Because the morning after the party, federal agents arrived at Vanguard Tech, real ones this time, with real warrants, without procedural errors. They seized servers, financial records, Brad's personal files, and Alex's device, still hidden in the server room, recorded everything. But 3 days later, reality hit. Emma held a press conference. She stood behind a podium, wearing modest clothes and minimal makeup, looking small and scared and victimized. I was manipulated, she said, voice breaking, by my ex-husband. He became obsessed after our separation. Stalked me. Threatened me. I have evidence of months of harassment. She produced screenshots. Text messages from Alex threatening violence. Emails describing graphic revenge fantasies. Photos of Emma's car with slashed tires. Her home with broken windows. All fake, but perfectly crafted. Alex Reynolds is dangerous, Emma continued. He couldn't accept our relationship ending. And when I moved on, he snapped. That party? That wasn't exposure. That was revenge porn. Private messages stolen and manipulated to destroy my life. Her lawyer stepped forward. Victor Hastings. Vic, back on Emma's team. We're filing criminal charges, Vic announced. Harassment, stalking, computer crimes. And we're pursuing a civil suit for emotional damages. $5 million. The press ate it up. By noon, Alex was a villain again. Bitter ex-husband's sick revenge plot. From victim to villain. The dark side of hashtag placeholder revenge. Tech expert. Messages could have been deep-faked. The narrative flipped so fast it gave Alex whiplash. His phone rang. A detective. Mr. Reynolds? This is Detective Carla Mendez. I need you to come down to the station. We have some questions. About the allegations against you. And we have a warrant to search your vehicle and electronic devices. Alex's stomach dropped. When? Now. We're outside. He looked in his rear-view mirror. 2 police cars. For officers. He was boxed in. At the station, they took everything. His phone. His laptop. The burner devices. The Raspberry Pi. They sat him in an interrogation room for 6 hours. Mendez was good. Patient. Professional. Here's what I don't understand, Alex. She spread photos across the table. These messages Emma showed us? They're from your phone number. Your IP address. Your device signatures. They're fake, so you keep saying. But our tech team verified them. Metadata checks out. Timestamps check out. Everything checks out. Because someone made them check out. Who? Brad? Emma? Both of them are victims here, Alex. They're criminals, based on messages you claim are real, while the messages they have proven your crimes are somehow fake. Mendez leaned back. You see the problem? Alex saw it, crystal clear. He'd been outplayed while he was planning his exposure. Brad and Emma were building their defense, creating evidence, establishing a pattern, turning Alex's legitimate grievances into the ravings of an obsessed stalker. I want a lawyer, Alex said. Smart move. Mendez stood. But here's the thing. Your lawyer? Vic Hastings? He's representing Emma now. Conflict of interest. Any other lawyer who knows your case got their information from Vic. Also conflicted. That's not legal? It is. Carefully orchestrated, but legal. She moved the door. You're free to go. For now. But don't leave town. And Alex, if you contact Emma or Brad again, even once, you're done. They released him at midnight. No phone. No devices. No evidence. Just a receipt for seized property and a court date in 3 weeks. Alex walked 12 miles back to his car. Found it ransacked. Legal search. Seats torn. Dashboard pulled apart. They'd taken his clothes, his mother's ring, the family photos, everything. He sat on the curb and laughed. Because what else could he do? His phone, returned separately, buzzed. The unknown number. Unknown. They're better than I thought. Respect. Alex, they took everything. Unknown, not everything. Check your email. The account I set up for you. Password. Placeholder 1. Alex found a library. Used a public computer. Logged into an email account he didn't remember creating. Inside, a folder labeled nuclear option. He opened it. Videos. Dozens of them. Brad in his office. Discussing bribes. Planning fraud. Admitting to the Patterson Plaza shortcuts. Emma meeting with Vic planning the fake evidence. Laughing about destroying the placeholder. Tom. Confessing to Brad's assistant that he'd been paid to betray Alex from the start. Lena, in a meeting where Brad threatened to pull a Reynolds on anyone who talked. Mia, his sister, selling Alex's location to Emma. taking money to provide character witness statements about his unstable behavior. Everyone, every single person, on video, admitting everything. Unknown, that's the real insurance. The stuff Brad doesn't know I copied. Your move, placeholder. Use it wisely. Alex stared at the screen, at the nuclear option, at the choice. Release this, and everyone goes down. Emma, Brad, Vic, even Lena and Tom and Mia. Criminal charges, prison time, lives destroyed. But also, Alex becomes a hacker, the stalker, the criminal who infiltrated private systems and recorded people illegally. He'd win, but he'd lose everything in the process. The library was closing. The clerk gave him a warning. Alex downloaded everything to a flash drive, cleared the browser history, left, walked through the city at 2 a.m., flash drive in his pocket, weighing maybe an ounce but feeling like the world. His phone buzzed. A number he recognized. Lena, I heard they arrested you. I'm sorry. Alex, are you? Lena, I know you don't believe me, but I am. This wasn't supposed to happen. Alex, what was supposed to happen? 3 dots. Typing. Stopping. Typing again. Lena, can we meet? I have something for you. Something that might help. Alex, why would you help me now? Lena, because Brad just fired me. Claims I'm the one who leaked the party footage. I'm being scapegoated. Alex, just like you. Alex stopped walking. Alex, where? Lena, Riverside Park. East Bench. 1 hour. Alex looked at his phone. At the message. Every instinct screamed trap. But he went anyway, because he had nothing left to lose. Lena was already there when he arrived, sitting on the bench. No coat, despite the cold. Hands shaking. You came, she said. Talk fast. She pulled out a folder. Manila, worn. After Brad fired me, I went back to clean out my desk. Security was escorting me, but I grabbed this first. She handed it to Alex. It's the real insurance file. The one Brad keeps locked. Alex opened it. Inside, worse than he'd imagined. Not just financial crimes. Photos of a man, beaten, in a hospital bed. The contractor Lena had mentioned, the one who tried to expose Brad. Except the photos showed him before the suicide attempt. Showed Brad's security team, holding him down. It wasn't a suicide attempt. It was attempted murder. Staged as suicide. Oh my God! Alex whispered. There's more. Lena's voice was hollow. The Patterson Plaza. Brad didn't just cut corners. He sabotaged it, intentionally, so it'll fail. So he can collect insurance money when it collapses. There are 300 families. He doesn't care. He'll be in the Caymans before the first crack appears. Alex looked at her. Why are you giving me this? Because I can't live with myself anymore. Tears now. Real ones. I've been complicit in everything. Every crime. Every betrayal. I told myself I was just surviving, but I was choosing, every day, to be part of it. So tura and itin, go to the police. I tried. They said I was making it up. Said I was a disgruntled employee. Brad got to them first. Alex. He's got cops on payroll. Judges. Prosecutors. The whole system. Alex stood. Started pacing. What do you want from me? I want you to burn it all down. Lena stood too. You're the only one angry enough. Crazy enough. Free enough. You've got nothing left to protect. So protect the rest of us. The people in the Patterson Plaza. The next person Brad decides to destroy. Someone. Alex looked at the folder. At the photos. At the evidence of actual violence. If I use this, I'm done. Criminal charges. Prison. Everything. I know. You're asking me to sacrifice myself. I'm asking you to be better than us. Lena's voice broke. Please, Alex. Someone has to stop him. Alex tucked the folder under his arm, looked at Lena, and made the hardest choice of his life. Go home, he said quietly. Delete everything. Every email. Every file. Pretend this conversation never happened. Alex, I mean it. When this comes out, you need plausible deniability. You tried to warn me. I wouldn't listen. That's your story. What are you going to do? Alex didn't answer, just walked away. into the dark, toward whatever came next. Behind him, Lena called out, "I hope you find peace, Alex. I really do." He didn't turn around, because peace wasn't an option anymore. Only justice. The brutal, expensive, self-destructive kind. So here's the question. Is Alex about to become the hero this story needs, or the villain it deserves? Because what he does next will define everything. Drop a comment. Would you sacrifice yourself to save strangers? Would you burn it all down? Hit subscribe, because the ending of this story will haunt you. We're almost there. Alex didn't sleep. Spent the night in his car, organizing everything. Lena's files, the unknown contacts videos, his own evidence, the nuclear option. By dawn, he had a plan. Not a good plan, not a safe plan, but a plan that would work. He walked into the FBI field office at 8 a.m. "I need to report multiple federal crimes," he told the receptionist. They made him wait 3 hours. Finally, 2 agents appeared. Agents Rivera and Park. Young, skeptical. Mr. Reynolds. Rivera sat across from him. "We're aware of your situation with Ms. Hartley and Mr. Cordell. This isn't about revenge." That's what they all say. Alex slid the folder across the table. Patterson Plaza. 20-story residential building. 300 units. Opens next month. It's going to collapse. Park frowned. That's a serious accusation. It's a fact. Brad Cordell used substandard materials, bribed inspectors, falsified safety reports, and he did it intentionally, for insurance fraud. You have proof. Photos, financial records, video of him admitting it. Alex pulled out the flash drive. Everything you need. Rivera took it, plugged it into a laptop. 3 minutes of silence. Then, holy shit, Park leaned over, watched. His face went white. "Where did you get this? Does it matter?" "Yes," Rivera said flatly. "Because if you obtain it illegally, it's inadmissible. And you just confessed to federal crimes. I'm aware. Park blinked. "You're confessing to computer crimes? Illegal surveillance?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because 300 families matter more than I do." Silence. Rivera and Park exchanged glances. "You understand what you're doing?" Rivera asked quietly. "You'll be charged, prosecuted. You're looking at serious time." "I understand." "And you're doing it anyway." "Yes." Park closed the laptop. "Give us a minute." They left him alone in the interrogation room. Alex waited. Through the window, he could see them talking, on phones, with supervisors, debating. 40 minutes later, they returned with a prosecutor. A woman, 50s, sharp suit, sharper eyes. "Mr. Reynolds, I'm Assistant U.S. Attorney Janet Wu. I've reviewed your evidence." She sat down. "It's compelling, very compelling. But there's a problem. I confessed." "Yes, and normally we reject illegally obtained evidence. But there's a national security angle here. The Patterson Plaza contractors have ties to the infrastructure bill, federal funding. If this building fails, it could trigger investigations into the entire program." Alex waited. "So here's what I'm prepared to offer. Immunity. Full. In exchange for your cooperation and testimony." "I don't want immunity." Wu blinked. "I'm sorry. I broke the law. I should face consequences." "Mr. Reynolds, but I want something else. Witness protection. For Lena Vasquez. She helped me. If Brad finds out, she's dead." Wu considered. "We can do that. And I want the Patterson Plaza evacuated. Today, before anyone gets hurt." "That's already in motion. Building inspector is on site now. And I want Brad and Emma prosecuted. Fully. No deals. No plea bargains." Wu smiled. Thin. Professional. "Mr. Reynolds, after what I just saw, I'm going to bury them." The arrest happened at noon. CNN broadcast it live. Brad Cordell let out a Vanguard tech in handcuffs. Again. But this time, no procedural errors. No escape clause. Emma Hartley. Pulled from an open house showing. Crying. Screaming about injustice. Victor Hastings, arrested at his office. disbarred on the spot, and 12 others, shell company owners, bribed inspectors, accomplices. The charges scrolled across the screen like a grocery list of greed, fraud, conspiracy, bribery, money laundering, attempted murder, racketeering. Brad's bail, $10 million. He couldn't make it. Emma's bail, $5 million. She begged Mia to help. Mia refused, because federal agents were at Mia's door too, asking about her payments from Emma, her false statements, her role in the conspiracy. Tom was fired. His boss saw the videos, saw him admitting to betrayal for money. Lena disappeared. Witness protection. Safe. And Alex stood in the prosecutor's office, watching it all unfold on TV, knowing he'd won. How do you feel? Wu asked. Empty. That's normal after something like this. Is it over? The criminal case? Just starting. The trial will take months. But yes, they're done. Both of them. Alex nodded slowly. For what it's worth, Wu said, you did the right thing. Did I? He left the office, walked outside. News vans everywhere. Reporters shouting questions. Alex Reynolds. How does it feel to take down a tech empire? Is this revenge or justice? Do you regret the marriage? Alex pushed through them, silent, found his car, still ransacked, still broken, and drove, not to a destination, just away. 6 months later, the trial was a media circus. Brad tried to flip on Emma. Emma tried to flip on Brad. Neither succeeded. The evidence was overwhelming. The videos, the documents, the testimony. Lena, from behind a screen, voice disguise, describing everything. The contractor, recovered enough to speak, identifying as attackers. Families from a Patterson Plaza, testify about the terror of evacuation, about what could have happened. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Brad, 25 years. Federal prison. No parole. Emma, 18 years. Same prison. Cell block C. Vic, disbarred. 10 years. The others, varying sentences. None less than 5 years. Alex watched from the gallery. Watched Emma's face as the verdict was read. The disbelief. The rage. The final, terrible understanding that she'd lost everything. She looked for him in the crowd. Their eyes met. And Alex saw in that moment what he'd wanted from the beginning. Not victory. Recognition. The understanding that she hadn't erased him. That he'd been the one who'd erased her. Emma's face crumpled. Guards led her away. Brad didn't even look back. After the trial, Wu found Alex outside the courthouse. Media wants a statement. You interested? No. Figured. She handed him an envelope. This came for you. From Lena. Alex opened it. A single piece of paper. Handwritten. Thank you for being brave enough to do what I couldn't. I'm building a new life now. A clean one. I hope you can too. You deserve better than what they did to you. What I did to you. I'm sorry. Ed. Alex folded it carefully. Put it in his pocket. What will you do now? Wu asked. I don't know. You could rebuild. Start over. New city. New name. New career. Could I? Wu studied him. You're a good man, Alex. Don't let them take that from you. They already did. He walked away. Through the crowd. Through the cameras. Through the noise. Back to his car. Drove to the house. His old house. The one Emma had stolen. It was for sale now. Bank-owned. Foreclosed after Emma's assets were seized. Alex stood on the lawn, looking at it. The door he'd painted. The windows he'd cleaned. The garden Emma had planted and then abandoned. A graveyard of a life that never really existed. His phone rang. Unknown number. One last time. He answered. You did it. The voice wasn't distorted anymore. Just tired. Human. Congratulations. Who are you? Someone who was exactly where you were. 5 years ago. Different city. Different story. Same ending. Did you rebuild? A long pause. I'm trying. Some days are better than others. Some days I remember why I fought. Some days I wonder if it was worth it. Was it? Ask me in another 5 years. a breath. You're gonna have those days too, Alex. Days where you miss who you used to be. Days where you hate who you became. Days where you can't tell the difference between justice and revenge. How do I deal with that? You keep moving. You find something worth protecting. You remember that monsters exist, but so do people worth saving. And you try like hell to stay on the right side of that line. What if I already crossed it? Then you climb back, one day at a time, one choice at a time. You don't get to be innocent again, Alex, but you can still be good. The line went quiet. Thank you, Alex said, for everything, for helping. Don't thank me. Just do better than I did. Find peace. Find purpose. Find something other than rage. I'll try. That's all any of us can do. The call ended. Alex stood there, phone in hand, looking at the ruins of his past. Then he got in his car, drove west, toward a sunset that painted the sky in shades of orange and red and gold, toward a city he'd never seen, toward a future he couldn't predict, toward something, anything. He didn't know if it would be better, didn't know if he'd ever be whole again, but he drove anyway, because that's what survivors do. They keep moving, even when they don't know where they're going, even when they're not sure they deserve to arrive. They keep moving, and somewhere in the distance, possibility waited. Small, fragile, but real. Brad Cordell is currently serving 25 years at FCI Beaumont. He was denied parole in 2028. Emma Hartley is serving 18 years at FCI Danbury. She filed for appeal 6 times. All were denied. Victor Hastings was disbarred and served 10 years. He was released in 2033 and now works in customer service. Lena Vasquez completed the Witness Protection Program and now teaches architecture at a community college under a new identity. The Patterson Plaza was demolished. Federal investigations revealed it would have collapsed within 8 months of occupancy. Tom, Mia, and others involved received lighter sentences and probation. Alex Reynolds was never charged. He declined all media interviews. His current whereabouts are unknown. In 2027, a scholarship fund was established in his mother's name. It provides full tuition to architecture students from low-income families. The donor is anonymous. Sometimes the placeholder becomes a foundation. So there it is, the full story. The brutal truth about trust, betrayal, and the price of justice. Did Alex win? Did he lose? Maybe he did both. Drop a comment below. What would you have done differently? Could you have forgiven? Could you have walked away? And if this story moved you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories that will make you feel everything. Thanks for watching. And remember, you're never just a placeholder. You're the whole damn story.